Hello, everybody. I'm going to interview my dad today. The first question is, why do you like sports?
The reason why that I like sports is when I was a young boy, my dad taught me how to play baseball, and it was very enjoyable. And he taught me how to watch the Bruins, the Red Sox on TV, and I just was captured. It was so much fun to do, so much fun to watch, and we really enjoyed it together.
That's nice. The second question is, what was the first game you went to?
The first game I went to was in 1979 when the Boston Red Sox played against the Cleveland Indians. And all I remember is Mike Torres pitched. I was 8 years old at the time. I have no idea who won because it was so long ago, but it was fun to go to Fenway Park. My dad and I sat in the bleachers back when they didn't have backs to the seat. They were just bench seats.
And the third question is, who are your favorite teams and why?
My favorite teams in sports, I'm only going to do football, hockey, and baseball because I'm not too much of a basketball fan, even though I respect the guys that play it. Favorite football team is the Denver Broncos. It's been since about 1982, 1983. I was captured by them because, first of all, the Patriots around here used to get blacked out back in the day. If you didn't have a good team, didn't sell out 72 hours before the game wasn't on TV for any home game. So basically 3 home games out of 8 were on for the Pats. The Broncos were on a lot at 4 o'clock, and then they got John Elway. Elway captured me the way he ran around, had probably the best arm I've ever seen. He's still my favorite athlete of all time. And I remember the complete moment where I became a Broncos fan. They were playing the Cleveland Browns late in the season in 1983. Elway stepped up and threw a 50-yard bullet to Clint Sampson. They ended up beating the Browns, I believe, 27-6. And since then, I've been a Bronco fan, and it's been a long time. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm going to keep continuing. Los Angeles Dodgers are my favorite baseball team. The reason why I started liking them was in 1981, they played against the Yankees in the World Series. I'll never forget, Goose Gossage threw a pea and hit Ron Cey in the head, and I thought he was dead. I felt so bad for him. Then the games got back going. Fernando Valenzuela was the main pitcher. I enjoyed that. Fast forward to 1985, I was on the Dodgers for my Babe Ruth team. They had Orel Hershiser, who was a great pitcher, and I became a pitcher a little bit before then, and I really, really enjoy pitching. That's my favorite part of baseball, period. And as a hockey team, my favorite team is Hartford Whalers. Oh, wait, they don't exist anymore. But we'll get into that in a second. I'm a fan of the Whalers since 1986 because in 86 they played the Montreal Canadiens in the second round. They took them to 7 games and lost in overtime, of course, because they always broke my heart for the most part. The Bruins lost to the Canadiens like a zillion times before that, so that's how I kind of hooked on to Hartford. Now the Carolina Hurricanes, I followed them down there. I was lucky enough to see them win a Stanley Cup, and they've been very inconsistent. But I've held on to the Boston Bruins. I like them as well.
The fourth question is, what sports did you play when you were little?
The 2 different sports that I played were baseball and basketball. Believe it or not, I never played football as much as I love it. Just played with my friends, throwing the ball around, etc. Played baseball since I was about 8 or 9 years old. Struggled at the beginning of playing, but as I got better, I was able to hit the ball, and then I got taught how to pitch. Pitched all through Little League, Babe Ruth, and then eventually in high school. I loved pitching. It was so enjoyable to me. You're in control of the game. You could call your own game. You could throw fastball, curveball, changeups, whatever. I just love pitching, and I would continue to do that to this day if I was able to. And the other sport that I played was basketball. I played for 2 or 3 years during the, I don't know, maybe 5th, 6th, and 7th grade or whatever it was. I went to a basketball camp at Bentley College. Basketball kind of dropped off for me because after that I really wasn't that interested in it. It wasn't my favorite sport.
The next question is, what was your favorite game of all time at the event?
My favorite game of all time at the event was in May of 2009. As being a Hurricanes fan, they played the second round series to Game 7 at the Boston Bruins. They were up 3-1. The Bruins won the next 2 games to make it 3 games apiece, and Game 7 was in Boston. I was lucky enough that my uncle got tickets to this game, and I was able to go. It was an exciting game. I remember Sergei Samsonov, who used to play for the Bruins, scored, and then the game was tied at 2. In overtime, what happened was There was Ray Whitney, who was a good player on the Hurricanes, flipped the puck towards the net. All of a sudden, Scott Walker comes in and bats it out of the air to win in overtime. And that place went silent. It was unbelievable. I remember telling my uncle saying, wow, it's unbelievable. You can hear a pin drop in here. Of course, I'm in Boston, so I really didn't cheer or anything because I didn't really want anybody to get upset for me. But that was the most exciting game I had ever gone to in sports.
Continue on to that question. What was your favorite game on TV?
My favorite game on TV is kind of, I have to almost split it. First one is the 1986 AFC Championship game when the Broncos played in Cleveland. They were down 20-13 and got the ball on their 2-yard line with 5 minutes left. Elway marched them down the field in the mud and the wind to tie the game up, and then they went in overtime. Fortunately, lost in the Super Bowl to the Giants, who are a great team, but that was such a good memory for me. Elway came of age in that game, and he became the superstar that I think he was in his career. Then the other game is when Denver, 1997 season, finally won the Super Bowl. They beat Green Bay 31-24. Elway was like a complimentary player in this game. Terrell Davis ran for 157 yards. And in the second quarter, he kind of got kicked in the head, and he used to get migraines. He had to get some nasal spray to get him back in the game in the third quarter. He didn't play at all in the second quarter. When he wasn't in there, Denver didn't run the ball very well. Eventually, they ended up winning the game 31-24, and it was a joy to see that team win because that franchise finally deserved to win a Super Bowl.
And the last question is, do you have any ideas you want to share on any sports?
Yeah, a couple of ideas I have is, first of all, I'd love to teach kids how to hit, in my opinion, the right way. I know there's different methods that people do. Just show to have a flat bat and step into the ball and be as consistent as possible, not a looping bat, because basically I think you'll hit pop-ups or you have a hard time getting on a pitch. And just showing them if you get the right pitch, you can hit the left center, center field, right center, and right field. Just go with the pitch, basically. Don't try to be a hero and hit a home run. Be smart and try to hit the ball where it's pitched, etc. Second one I'd like to do is maybe get them to teach them how to pitch, so show some curveballs, fastball, a circle change, knuckleball, and just see the different grips on the balls and see if they could learn from that. And then the last thing, too, is just a little bit of football. Not that I'm an expert, but I'd like to teach how to go back almost from like under center. Nowadays, quarterbacks are all in that shotgun, Chip Kelly, read option stuff, which I can't stand, and then shotgun most of the time, which, it's okay sometimes. Just taking like a 5-step drop and throwing the ball on time, like a 10-yard slant, 10-yard out, and then a couple 3-step and just throwing the ball for like a fade pattern. Different ways of just showing how little bits of football. Just my method. Not that I'm any expert.
Thank you for your time and your interview, and I hope to see you again.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.